I'm guessing the kidding around's pretty much over by now. No more touchy-feely, no more little
namby-pamby
shorts, mamby-pamby,
wishy-washy.
Yeah. Putting on the pads, going to start hitting people, scrimmages later this week.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm interested.
John Longshore, Barry McKnight, if you're not interested after that opening, go ahead and just move along because that's us. That's what we do. Yeah. That's how we talk here.
Learn
on
it.
This program.
Love it.
I'm Barry McKnight. He's John Longshore. This is Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer Moose. Got the mood. The mood now. Yesterday, our first big all-staff meeting at Troy. Last night, the big welcome back party for the student athletes. They cooked like 800 hot dogs and hamburgers. I feel like I ate half of them. And scrimmages this week.
Oh, yeah.
Pads are popping this week. Auburn had yesterday off. Troy practiced. Alabama practices today. I think Alabama gets started with full contact in the morning. They've got a little bit.
Yeah, I believe they got a scrimmage on Thursday. We'll ask about that later on.
Well, they may be getting full contact today then, because it's hard to believe they'll have one day of contact and then a scrimmage. If they scrimmage on Thursday, I would bet it is today. But regardless, all of the grab stuff, all that is pretty much over with. Maybe with scrimmages this week or this weekend, we'll have the answer to a lot of questions. Who's going to be the starting quarterback?
I don't know.
One place it's already pretty well established. What about the running back rotation? Are they looking good? Yesterday, they do this every year. Bruce Feldman, he's with The Athletic, which John no longer has a subscription to since he couldn't use his student ID to get a free subscription. But it's all right. I used to have a subscription too. Am
I missing anything? Should I resubscribe?
It's with the New York Times. It's owned by the New York Times. That's basically.
Maybe I could put it in my son's name since he's about to be a college student.
Hey, there you go.
That angle.
There you go. But every year they have a list of the top 100 or so. He calls it the freaks list. Those are the most athletic freaks in college football.
Nothing to do with Freaknik. There used to be some little get-together in Atlanta, I believe.
Yes. Also, nothing to do with Rick James.
Or got to get your freak on. I've heard that.
Super freak. Nothing like that. But they did the number one on the freaks list is Nick Harbor. He's a wide receiver from South Carolina. We talked about him before. When
do they come? That's game 4 in Tuscaloosa, by the way. Just saying.
6'5", 245 runs he runs a 10.1 100 meter dash. And got like 5% body fat. He's number one. There are 2 guys on the list from Alabama. Strangely enough, I didn't see anybody from Auburn. I'll double check that list, but he goes over everyone with a little look at everything they got, everything they do. Can
I just stop you for the record? He said that, not me. That would normally be a statement I would make. Look at that. Nobody on the list from Auburn.
Well, I just thought about that. It wasn't number 13 on the list. Again, it's Bruce Feldman's freak list.
Yeah.
Number 13, athletic freak, Jackson Lloyd, the offensive tackle from Alabama, who's already been penciled in since before spring started.
Yeah.
as Alabama's left tackle. Former five-star recruit, got in 5 games as a freshman. He's still just 19. Good Lord. He's 6'7", 317 pounds with just 18% body fat, and he has already bench pressed 505 pounds and squatted 760. He's power clean 365, vertical jump 33, broad jump 9.6. That's incredible. 505 bench press. Do they even make T-shirts?
Yeah, I'm about to say it would take me 3 times to get over that 505.
And it would be a struggle for
Yeah.
oh my.
Woo,
that was interesting. Number 13,
really,
Jackson. Nobody knows very much. But
and you're that big, and you only have 18% body fat.
that's just take it from me. That's ungodly. That's
where
incredible.
did Bruce get these measurements? Did he go measure himself, or is he taking the GA's word for it?
No, because there'd be restraining orders and all that kind of stuff. Excuse me, can we come over here a minute? No. But yeah, those are from the athletic training staff and all that. Troy has got number 16. That's my guy, defensive end, Donnie Smith, who's the preseason Sun Belt Player of the Year. Number 23.
Donnie Smith. Didn't Auburn have a player named Donnie Smith years ago?
Let's see, Zeke Smith. I think they did.
Donnie, yeah.
I think they did.
Rings a bell. Okay.
Number 23. Daniel Hill, Alabama running back.
Barry, read the stats on this guy. I think he has really worked hard in the offseason based on his measurables.
This is what it reads. Hill, who won't turn 21 until the week before the Iron Bowl, is a huge back with exceptional power and excellent burst. In high school, he ran away with the Mississippi State 110-meter and 300-meter hurdles titles.
Wow.
He won the 110 by almost a half a second and won the 300-meter hurdles by almost a second and a half, despite weighing almost 230 pounds. Last year, Hill was a good all-purpose weapon for the Tide, 75 rushes, 284, 6 touchdowns, 28 catches. This offseason, Daniel Hill, who's now 6'1", 237.
Wow, man.
Bench pressed 485, squatted 800, and power cleaned 375. That's just yanking it up over your head in one motion. He also vertical jumped 38 inches, and his broad jumped 10 feet 4 inches.
These guys are eating their Wheaties.
I'd say forget about E.J. Crowell.
No.
You may have your starting running back on campus right now, and Rodney's been raving about how he's changed.
A.K. Deere, Daniel Hill. Yeah, you're right. E.J. Crowell, sit over there and get healthy. Rehab a little bit. Let's go back to something you just slid in there, though. I don't want this to get overlooked.
Oh, boy.
Nobody from Auburn is on the list. No, wait a minute.
Oh, I didn't want to have John's going to fixate on that. I apologize.
I thought Golish brought all these talented players up from South Florida.
Well,
60% of the team is former Bull players, and none of them are on the list.
He doesn't disappoint, does he, people? He does not disappoint. He is solid as a rock. I actually don't get too caught up in that because I'm wrong. Number 26, Auburn defensive end.
There we go.
Deshaun Womack.
Did he come from South Florida? Was he already on the team?
The 6'5", 260-pound former 5-star recruit is on his 3rd SEC program after stops at LSU and Ole Miss. Last year for the Rebels, 27 tackles, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. This offseason, this is a big deal with them. You'll see them in practice sometimes wearing these vests. They look like sports bras. But they measure all of these things, your blood pressure, your heart rate, how fast you're going, how much calories you're burning.
Yeah.
He clocked 21.6 miles per hour on the GPS, which is elite. Bench pressed 350. Bench press 350. You got that dude over there for Alabama bench pressing 5, and you're a defensive end, and he's a tackle?
Bulk up a little bit.
Number 48 is Byram Brown. Make sure we get that.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I've heard that one, yeah.
I'm going to Auburn quarterback. He said the former USF quarterback made the freaks list last year. 6'3", 235, improved his bench press to 315 from 300 and is still squatting 600 pounds, a hefty load for any quarterback, while also hitting 22.5 miles an hour on the GPS. Last year, he hit on 66.3% of his passes, 3,158 yards. I don't know that Auburn's passed for 3,158 yards in the last 3 years combined. 28 touchdowns, just 7 interceptions, in addition to running for 1,000 yards and 14 touchdowns.
Barry,
throws for 3,000, runs for 1,000, and
Yeah.
you guys are, he throws funny. All right.
Well, so you got to break these numbers down a little bit. Here's the first thing I think of. And
what's his QBR rating?
Yeah, this is the first thing I think of here. Because I'll be the first to admit I haven't dug deep to see what his past chart looks like. But if I got to guess, I'm thinking a guy that throws for that many yards and that few interceptions is throwing a lot of dink and dunk stuff, and the wide receivers are taking off with it. Hey, the guy only threw it 4 yards, but the guy took off for 40. That's a 40-yard pass.
It is a 40-yard pass. And, however you score it up in the press box, you have just advanced your team 40 yards.
Similar to this kid ran for 1,200 yards against defenses that were ranked 74th or worse. He still did it.
That is 1,200 yards more than they would have gotten if he had not run for 1,200.
That's true.
Regardless of who it's against or how bad they were, whenever he got the ball and ran with it, he moved the ball forward 1,200 yards.
Skewed to, the late, great Albert Elmore had the longest pass in Alabama history till Jeff Dunn beat him out against in a play against Tennessee, threw it to Prince Wembley. He didn't throw it 2 yards and the guy ran for 80. He threw it 80. And the guy ran under it and caught it.
Therefore, if this is such a thing, it is more legitimate.
Yes.
I don't care how they score it, what the stats say. You have just advanced your team 40 yards.
Don't they
the next play you take, you're 40 yards ahead of where your last play was.
Don't they have some stat called a yak? Yards
catch? After contact.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Guy threw it 4 yards, guy took off for 40.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. There it is. There's your yak for you. Okay, I'm just saying, over 3,000-yard passing, only 7 picks.
I'm worried about this. Wow. Yeah, he needs to throw more picks. Come on, man.
No,
I'm worried about
this. It sounds like to me. How many incompletes did he have? Was that thrown in there too? He
threw for 66%. 66
or passes to the third row, which has happened in Auburn with former quarterbacks as well.
Yeah, happened late in the ULM game with the game on the line in 06 too. The issue I have right now on this program, this is our first segment of our Tuesday live show. We've got some new people who have never seen this program before. Do not turn us off. This is an aberration. You will not hear John spewing statistics all show long, every show. As a matter of fact, John follows the immortal words of Steve Spurrier, or it was Jim Rome, one or the other. Stats are for chumps. John lives it, knows it, learns it. That unless it has something to do with Auburn quarterbacks, then he gets into quarterback rating. Then he gets into how many fights did he have with his offensive coordinator on the sidelines. Then he gets into, well, yeah, he threw for 3,000, but how many was this little dink or dunk thing?
I'm just asking.
Otherwise, I'm just telling you, if you're sitting here thinking, I got to listen to 2 hours of this guy on the left who I've never seen before spewing stats, I promise you, to the depths of my soul, that will not be the case.
Unless
it has something to do with Auburn.
No way am I a stat guy.
Right,
Spurrier's quote was actually, stats are for losers and assistant coaches, which I thought was great. You're telling coach. But I don't look at it as, hey, let me lay all these stats out to you. I look at it as, no, wait a minute. The guy threw for 3,000. How many of them were? I'm just asking a question. How many of them were dink and dunk passes? All that. I think yak is Y-A-K, isn't it? But I've heard
No. It's YAC. It's yards after contact if you're a running back. It's yards after catch if you're a wide receiver.
And Tua were yak merchants, but whatever. I don't know. Tua could throw it pretty deep. He threw a lot of deep
had
passes.
That one that John remembers. Yeah.
He was pretty good throwing it deep. Yeah. But, so what I'm getting to really, the genesis of this is, why is everybody giving Byron Brown so much crud? Sounds like he's a really good quarterback.
Also, speaking of why is everybody giving fill in the blank, believe me, with this guy, so much crud? Did anybody see on X, on Twitter, all of the pictures of the Ohio State football team carrying their suit bags, carrying their equipment bags off the bus into their hotel where they're going to be spending preseason camp? Lots of stuff yesterday. Oh, it was great. It was a really good picture. Ohio State linebacker says, man, you can't beat the hotel vibes. As they go into a hotel to spend preseason camp for a couple of weeks. Oh, my gosh. Don't they know in Columbus how incredibly horrible it is?
Just because Ohio State's doing it, most people's preseason number one team?
I probably would say something like that. Like, if Ohio State is doing it, it must
are
not
they copying
be
Auburn?
bad.
Are they copying Auburn?
No, I imagine they had done this before. I imagine it has done before.
I wondered what happened. Didn't Auburn? I think Auburn had the day off yesterday.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, what'd they do? Lounge around the pool? Get in a late 18? I'm sure the spa was probably pretty busy yesterday.
In my naivete, I thought, pointing out to John, if it had been Slippery Rock, I probably would have brought that up. That other schools do it. In my naivete with John, I thought maybe the reaction would be, maybe that's not such a big story if other schools do it too. It's not just Auburn. Instead, John's like,
Now, not impressed.
Does that mean anything? I mean, so somebody else is doing it. Big deal. I should have known.
It sounds to me kind of gimmicky. Let's get the football world talking about us, because they hadn't in 5 years. So let's pull this little stunt, and ESPN will put a little feature on us and drive out there to Grand National and show the guys walking around early in the morning with the birds chirping and the squirrels running through the woods. And, they're just decompressing and meditating and bonding. Look, I went to college. I got tired of being around my fraternity brothers after about 3 days. You guys stink. You smell. Your food's all over the floor. You're a slob. I've had it with you guys. I'm done. I'm going back to my own bed, my own house, my own apartment. So I get this little gimmicky thing. But, hey, to each his own. Look, there are some things about other programs out there I've yet to understand. In 62 years, I still hadn't cracked the code.
That's one of them. That's one of them. Just because Ohio State does it, is it, a big thing or whatever? Also, the news came out earlier. Notre Dame and Indiana cancel a future home-and-home series.
Yeah. Don't blame them.
Don't they know? Just because Ohio State stays in a hotel before the season starts, does that mean everybody should do it? Notre Dame, Indiana, you won the national championship. That was not your biggest accomplishment last year. Your biggest accomplishment was scheduling a home-and-home with Notre Dame, and now John will never believe that came from Notre Dame.
No,
Indiana.
Yeah. Notre Dame's probably going, you're flash in the pan. You got the stars aligned for you. Nah, we're not wasting our time with you guys. We'd rather play Auburn. How about that? Hey, Coach might have hit on something here. Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of 5 stars on the Ohio State bus. They can probably afford to go to a hotel for 13 days or ever. Does it say how long they're staying in the hotel?
No, it was just a tweet about them getting off.
Could this be like a weekend? Just, hey, let's go ahead and have a little weekend, let her hair down and relax. Not 13 days. I'd like to know.
Is that a significant nuance to the whole thing?
I would think so.
To you?
A little
Barry, but how long are they staying, huh?
Let's go out to somebody's, camp house and let's have a little long retreat during the weekend. Something like that. I'd pretty much up. All you're going to need is a weekend bag. Don't be taking all your stuff out there. We ain't staying long. Just a few days.
Well, I wonder what the drop dead date is. Now, okay, Barry, if it's more than 5, it's too much.
Yeah.
5 is the over-under. If it's less than 5, all right. Over 5, you got to be kidding me.
Here's my deal about, if the little lady wants to go somewhere over the summer, let's get out of town. I said, look, 5 days maxed out. That's it. I know more than 5. That's all I can handle.
You don't say that.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, she knows it now. I can't handle it anymore. Hey, as we go to break, how about this guy? It's football season. JJ is back in the rotation, getting ready for some football talk. That does not surprise me.
Football national champion, JJ in Atlanta. Hey, guys, we'll be back coming up in about 10 minutes or so. We'll talk with Brian Matthews from auburnsports.com. Later on, Travis Ryer will join us. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Longshore and McKnight are brought to you in part by Stivers Automotive, Stivers Ford in Montgomery, and Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. For the absolute best on-site selection, service, and price, no other dealer can match Stivers. Stivers Ford in Montgomery is located at 4000 Eastern Boulevard and online at stiversfordmontgomery.com. Stivers CDJR in Prattville is located at 2209 Cobbs Ford Road and online at stiverscdjr.com. Longshore and McKnight have been Stivers customers for over 15 years. You should be too. Stivers Automotive, where price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times are waiting. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Local banking expertise, the newest innovations and technology, personal attention, genuine hospitality. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. They invite you to experience it for yourself. Welcome to banking above and beyond at Riverbank and Trust. Locations throughout the river region, locations throughout the state of Alabama. Riverbank and Trust.
This summer, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is on a Jurassic hunt for the oldest HVAC systems and water heaters in town. If your system is a fossil, now's your chance. Replace it between June 1st and July 31st and you could win big. We're giving $2,500 back for the oldest HVAC systems and $1,000 back for the oldest water heater. Even if you don't win, you still score major savings on your new HVAC system, water heater, generator, and or garage door. Don't let your systems go extinct. Call Dixie and it's done.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 24 minutes past the hour. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. Coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes from now. Always enjoy having him on the program. I guess, did they go to the Marriott to have their media session yesterday? Or did the team come to the practice facility as normal?
They're in the practice facility. Okay. There's no need to change that.
I mean, you'd have to, turn in a voucher for mileage if you had to go out there, I guess.
It is about... John pointed this out. I've been there 100 times. John's been there a bunch, too. It's an Opelika, which is like right next door, but that's a misnomer. It's right next to Auburn. Yeah, you go out to 280, out on Farmville Road. You hit 280, and you follow the signs to Grand National, which is a wonderful place. We love the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail.
Oh, yeah.
But you're thinking, son of a gun, when is it ever going to get here? And everything. Finally, you see that sign, turn right, and there it is. You got to drive a little bit longer, and it is beautiful. I think that it is a big bunch of nothing, but hey, John, of course, has his finger on the pulse beat of what's a gimmick or what's not, or what's, they're trying to get ESPN to come out and do a little feature on them. Is that?
I want to know what I'm interested in the room service limit. I mean, you got that many kids out there, they're all calling room service at the same time. You got to know that guy that answers the phone is going to say, it's probably going to be about an hour. What?
Yeah, an hour? Because you got 80-something other people here.
An hour? Wait a minute. Plus, it ain't like you're zipping down the road to go to Taco Bell. Because like we mentioned, you're kind of out there.
Yeah.
You ain't walking across the street to go get you, a double burrito Supreme or something. So
yeah, you calling up to Mellow Mushroom for delivery. That guy is saying, son of a gun. That's the 7th delivery. I'm in downtown Auburn. I got to go all the way out there. Guys, can you just pool your orders? We want 15 pizzas, half pepperoni, half sausage, one big kahuna, and let's go. Instead of 15 back and forth and back and forth. I don't know about room service because I remember we were reading yesterday on the show. Some guy says, man, the best thing about it is the room service. I'm thinking, room service?
I'm trying to think of the room service menu is probably cheeseburger, club sandwich, chicken wings, mozzarella sticks, Caesar salad.
Well, yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, maybe you can get a steak in room service at the Marriott. Who knows? I bet
you can, but I bet they better not. I bet there is a limit.
Yeah.
I mean,
like those
you've got to
smoothies.
be responsible. You've got to be responsible with that. But John is right in his opening statement, which was a little bit more valid than picking apart. Well, the Byron Brown dink and dunk, and I wonder how many. All I can tell you is this. Last year, I'll be perfectly transparent. Last year for South Florida, he could have been Daryl LaMonica. He could have been the Mad Bomber. He could be throwing deep the whole time. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Alabama did play him.
He may have just dropped as though for some reason, the guy's running downfield and Byram evaded the rush and now he's heading downfield again. He's telling the defense, hey, man, I'm so sorry. That wasn't a legit throw.
I was somewhat familiar with this young man because they played Alabama down in Tampa. Gave them all they wanted. I think that was the game Milroe didn't start. Gave them all they wanted, and then I think they played in Tuscaloosa the next year.
I would give you a $10 bill right now if you can remember the name of the guy who did start for Alabama.
Oh, he's the lacrosse player at Notre Dame.
That don't count.
What do you think?
That don't count. That's like the guy with vertigo.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's judges, anybody?
No, it has to be a name. His name's Tyler Buckner.
Oh, yeah.
And he transferred in from Notre Dame, and everybody's like, woohoo, Tyler Buckner. We got a Notre Dame quarterback. He'll start instead of Milroe. And he one-hopped more passes in that game than I've seen anybody outside of Gafers against Hall Brothers Dairy.
That's why we knew he transferred. Got what any good.
Transferred back to Notre Dame. To play on the lacrosse team, hence John's oblique reference that he's trying to gain credit for.
Speaking of transfers, should I be concerned that guy you said was on the freak list is at his 3rd SEC team?
Hey, that is standard operating procedure. I mean, you got guys all over the place. I mean, he ain't TJ Finley. That stuff is happening all the time. And believe me, when I'm filling out spotting charts for opposing teams and a couple of Troy guys, it's like freshman year at SEC school, sophomore year at JUCO, junior year at Big Ten school, senior year at another Big Ten school or whatever,
Very interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on that young man.
That is.
See how that plays out.
Yeah.
A little suspicious.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Huh.
Look, I mean, people have got to be able to differentiate. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud.
Who knows?
How many of those passes were like 3 and 4 yard dink and dunkers? I mean, I'm thinking that.
Did that guy go to 3 different schools? Was he at just one school and took finite math? Oh, I know somebody who went to another school and took finite math. I wonder if he was a problem. I wonder if it was because, he was a difficulty.
That was basically for convenience only. I was still enrolled in the school that I was initially enrolled in, just had the opportunity to take a class away from that institution that let it transfer back.
I
don't know if that's the case when it comes to athletics. Hey, you can go practice with those guys, but when the season starts, you come back over here, okay?
Yeah. I'm sure that was the university's response. Okay, John, you can take finite math over there.
Yeah.
But we need your academic standing to bolster our entire university GPA.
Well, that A I made in finite math, it certainly helped the overall GPA. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
For a guy that wasn't real good in math, I was actually pretty proud of myself.
Well, hey, big tip of the hat to TCU Doug.
Yeah.
Woo, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
No
Former caller.
I saw Doug a couple of weeks ago.
Professor of finite math. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that is, again, as far as news of the day or anything,
well,
not much.
Let's get this. I saw, speaking of news of the day, I saw this on the River Region Straw chat line, something about a baseball game last night between the Red Sox and the Blue
Jays.
Bill from Baltimore wanting to know if I had seen it. Bill, are you kidding me? Come on.
Of course not.
Nah.
Of course not. Weird play in the game, and I'm not sure. I know the rule for it. Okay. I did not watch the game.
Yep.
But I did see the highlight of it, and it was a really weird play, but it did not help the Red Sox. Blue Jays ended up winning it anyway. So, yeah. That may be on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel later on, because I can't recreate it verbally right now off the top of my head, but unfortunately, it was weird.
I could have used this excuse, but I'm not, because you wouldn't have believed it anyway.
Right.
But my cable was out. My internet was out yesterday from like 4 p.m. to like 9 p.m. last. I was freaking out. I mean, that's a bad situation. So I could use the excuse, well, I couldn't watch it because my internet was out, but I'm not going to use that because nobody believed me anyway.
Yeah. Well, I would believe that his internet is out. What I would not believe is that even if his internet was working, 500 gigabytes per second, he ain't watching that game anyway.
Probably
so
not.
It doesn't really matter. When we come back, thank gosh, we'd be panicking. We'd be freaking out if Brian Matthews' internet was out, because he joins us next from auburnsports.com. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Why Hands? At Hands Heating and Air, you get this area's highest ranked service provider with 24-hour repair service, no overtime charges, and their same-day service guarantee. Plus, instead of other companies' 30-day repair warranty, Hands gives you a 3-year repair warranty. Hands Heating and Air is here for you 24/7, 365. And service is not just something they do, it's their way of operating, for you in mind. All of Hands employees are trained to adhere to this standard. They work hard to ensure that this standard is maintained, and they are constantly looking for new ways to better serve you. Call Hands Heating and Air today at 508-5382. That's 508-5382, or find them on the web at 834hands.com. All righty, welcome back in, everybody. About 25 minutes at the top of the hour on this Tuesday. So glad you're with us. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate it. Helps us out and helps us bring the content that you enjoy each and every day, whether you're checking us out live from 7 until 9 or you watch it on your schedule, because it's up there for you to check out at YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, X, iTunes, Instagram, Yellowhammer News, and yellowhammernews.com. You can check it out on their Facebook page as well. We know a lot of people do that on their schedule. That's what makes this format so great. We appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Our man Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us here today, as he does each and every Tuesday. Brian, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Right in the middle of camp, ready to roll.
Yeah, what's the early vibe from camp? Is there any earth-shaking news, any significant takeaways this early, and what's been going on?
I don't think so, and probably that's a good thing. No major injuries. There have been some players coming back from injuries. There's no really big quarterback, battles where you're trying to report on it every day. So there's nothing that big happening during camp other than trying to bring this team close together and trying to, form that two deep during this first part. And, they will go full pass for the first time tomorrow. First scrimmage coming up Friday. And I think after that, we'll have a better idea exactly who is in that starting group and who's the top backups and who may have to be sort of scout teamers, at least to start the season.
Backups, that's something I know a lot about, Brian. And you mentioned the quarterback, and there's no doubt Byron Brown is the guy. Just out of curiosity, who's going to be backing him up?
Boy, it sure looks like Tristan Tia, and he's been throwing the ball well. He had a really good spring game, if you'll recall. The Oregon State transfer, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's on track to do that, and we'll see if he does enough where this coaching staff feels like he could be the starter next year. And I know we talked about this before, but that could be a move that saves Auburn several $1 million. Of course, they have to pay him if he's the starter, but they haven't had to pay him, $2 million a year for the past couple of years to get him here or keep him. So that could be a big move for him.
It's odd for me. I'm still getting used to it even now with the differences in fall camp. I've been watching Troy, of course, and you've been watching Auburn. Back in the day, many years ago, when I was watching Auburn, one of the first things about camp, the early part of camp and the two-a-days, which you don't have anymore, is all of the guys that come in and they need to lose about 20 or 30. And you're like, oh, man, this is going to be absolute Hades on earth for these guys to have them boil that weight off before, they even get a chance. It ain't that case anymore. They're here all summer anyway, Brian. So all of somebody just texted me, and because we had talked about it in the first segment, wait a minute, their first practice in pads is going to be Wednesday?
Yeah.
And they're scrimmaging on Friday? Well, you don't have to have that big acclimation period like you used to, right?
No, there was a lot of puking going on back in the day, right? And, report day was a real day for players and a lot of times freshmen to come in. And, they'd have a plan in the summer. You're supposed to do this to get in shape. A lot of not necessarily would show up that way. So, yeah, that has changed a whole lot since back in the day. These players are already in shape. They don't have to do the conditioning that they would have, 20, 25 years ago when I started this out. And, they've also spent the summer working on playbooks and getting to know the offense and defense better. So it's usually much prepared, much more organized teams when they show up for fall camp. I want to call it 2-a-days, but it's not that anymore, of course. Much more structured for one practice a day, and the first in sort of a build up until you get to full pads. This is a week and a half since practice started that they'll actually be getting into full pads for the first time.
And yeah, I mean, let's face it. It's a 12-month out of the year sport. Excuse me. Wow, it's a 12-month out of the 12-month out of the year sport, really every day. And I've heard stories of guys that go play golf in college. Your social life, nah, not so much. A little bit here and there, but you're going to be thinking football every day, 365.
And counting your money too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Making sure that nice new car gets washed, looks good for the ladies, all that stuff. But yeah, it is football, and I think it's great for high school players to play different sports, right, and diversify. But once you get to college, grow up a little bit more. You're concentrating, unless you're a Bo Jackson or a Dion or whomever. You're playing one sport and you're concentrating that sport all the time. They get a week off here and there during the summer and spring, and before camp. But they spend a good portion of the 365 days on football and preparing for this upcoming season.
I brought this up earlier that I actually saw on Twitter, on X, Ohio State football. They had several still pictures of their football student athletes getting off buses with duffel bags for a stay at a hotel during preseason camp.
Yeah, I don't think this is controversial at all. I just this is about bringing this team together, about getting them in one place at one time. Nowadays, you don't have the player dorms, and you don't really have a situation where you had player dorms and half of them had to be students anymore either.
Right.
Because of the money that these players are making, they live all over the place, around campus. They live in really nice dorms off campus. And this is just a way of Alex Golesh doing something he's talked about from day one, and that's building team unity, building trust between the players. So he's bringing them all together where for these, 4 weeks or so, or I guess it's going to be 2.5 weeks, I guess, the hotel before they break camp and sort of, break down into the weekly, game prep to build more trust in this team and build more team unity. So that's everything that this is about. It'll be 100% football for those guys from the time they wake up to the time they hit the sack, whether it's meetings or practice. And he's done it for the last 3 years at USF too. So I think he really feels strongly that this is the best way to do things for the first 2.5 or so weeks of camp.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if this is something that happened at South Florida as well.
Yes. Same thing. So I just I know what column you're kind of referring to, and I don't like to talk about other writers, but I would just say I politely disagree with that assessment of what's going on right now. I think they're more pampered when they stay at home in this era of college football, and certainly more distractions, of course, too.
Brian Matthews is with us, auburnsports.com. The injury to Ty Buster, the offensive lineman, that came before camp, I believe, right? That was not camp related, right?
Yes.
Significant? Not? What does that mean along the offensive line in your estimation?
Significant enough to keep him out for about half the season. And, that may be probably significant enough, probably, I don't know, maybe he comes back and jumps right back in there. We'll see. But a lot of times that can be a setback for an entire season if it's half the season, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he's still a young guy and he doesn't have that starting experience yet. But I felt like going into camp before we learned the injury that he was competing for a starting job for sure. And if he wasn't a starter, he would be the 6th, 7th guy in there. So that is losing a significant piece, I feel like, for the offensive line, one of the Auburn's better young players at that position. They do have depth there, right? They did bring in, I think it was 9 transfers, and I think they have 17 total scholarship players, which is a lot for the offensive line position. So, and they've had some guys step up. Jacob Strand, I think he's an Oregon State transfer too. He was a little banged up in the spring, but he's healthy now, so he's come on and he can play both tackle and guard. sort of like Ty Buster can. I think he's a guy that is pushing to be, if not a starter, maybe a 6th, 7th, 8th guy there. So they have lots of options there at the guard and tackle positions. It's just a matter of finding the right mix.
Speaking of finding the right mix, I'm looking at the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Not many people familiar in there, Brian. Are there a couple of suspicions that you have about who has risen to the top or who will be depended upon out of that wide receiver room, a playmaker or two?
Yeah, well, I think definitely Keyshawn Singleton and Chase Nimrod will be 1-2 most likely. But the guy that every time I ask about receivers or players stepping up on or off the record to players or coaches, every time I ask that question, one of the first guys out of the mouth is Deshaun Spencer. He's a freshman from Saraland. Was talked a lot about in spring, over the summer, and now fall camp. He's going to play, whether he's in the top 3 or 4th. He's definitely in the rotation right now, and certainly impressing his teammates and his coaching, since he arrived on campus, on and off the field, just his work ethic, his maturity for his age, all those things. I think coming from a program like Saraland really helps him. I think they treat their players already like professionals or college type players ahead of time, and that gives them that extra maturity.
Brian, from our River Region Straw chat line, Ted wanted us to ask Brian what he thinks about the offensive line play. Ted says he heard the Auburn coaches call them soft. Any comment on that?
Well, I've heard Auburn coaches call a lot of players a lot of different names during my time covering two-a-days or preseason practice. So
I can imagine.
That would not surprise me at all if somebody caught them saying that during a drill or something. I haven't heard that specific statement, but that's part of camp, right? Break them down and build them back up is certainly a part of even the nicest coaches or the coaches who don't necessarily work the same way. It's still got to be tough on them right now to try to get them better. But I would say it's wait and see for me on the offensive line. You're looking at mostly 5 new starters. Now, Cole Best was a starter for USF, so you can say he started in this situation. Cole Skinner could be a starter also from USF. So, that's a guy with experience with this offense. But, Joe Simmons, the transfer from, I think it's James Madison.
Yes, James Madison. Yeah, I saw him last year. Good
Stanton
play.
Ramel from Michigan State. That's probably your 2 tackles right now, left and right. And Derek Plaz, Miami transfer, is probably your one of your starting guards. I think the guards, still a little bit open, but you're looking at 5 new starters and maybe 5 total transfers starting on that offensive line. So it's going to be, to me, in my opinion, a work in progress there.
It's interesting. We were talking in the first hour. Brian's, he's mentioning a lot of these guys, transfer from here, transfer from South Florida, transfer from James Madison, all that. We were talking earlier about an article in The Athletic about Bruce Feldman's top freaks, and Deshaun Womack, the defensive end from Auburn, was number 26.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, which I didn't know either. I mean, I know the name and everything, and I've seen his numbers last year at Ole Miss, but I don't know anything about his athleticism or all that. And John pointed out, he'd been at LSU, he'd been at Ole Miss, now he's at Auburn. It's his 3rd stop. My immediate impulse was to say, well, there was a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback that played at Florida and at Blinn Junior College before coming to Auburn. He worked out well.
Yeah.
To even get, but that stuff happens all the time, right? I mean, 3 stops in a college career is not uncommon anymore.
Not anymore.
Read into that.
No, not anymore. I don't necessarily think it's the best thing for players, but that's the way college football goes now, right? So you just got to deal with it. But Deshaun, he's 6'5", he's 285. I think he's going to fill the role of Kevin Falk in a lot of ways. I'm not saying he's a first-round talent at that position, but I do think he has potential to be a really good player. I think he has that athleticism, that size, that strength, to be that edge setter, a guy who can make some plays off the edge there too, and take on double teams, tight ends, and tackles, and do all those things. I just the one thing with him is the maturity and the consistency. When he can be more of that, have more consistency, more maturity, I think he can be a better, more consistent player for Auburn. So we'll see if he can get there through fall camp. He's I wouldn't say where Kevin Falk was a guy you could depend on every day, every hour, every play. I think Deshaun Womack still has to prove that they can depend on him for that.
Interesting stuff. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. What also catches your eye about the website is they've got a special right now, 75% off your first year. Is that, wow. How about that?
Yeah. Great opportunity to sign up for fall camp right now. You can do that right online. Really good deal to just get on board and get all our fall camp information. We go to practice. As soon as we get out of practice, we're updating you on what we saw, what players we feel like are moving up or down the depth chart. Of course, all the interviews, all the stories, all the updates from practice right here at auburnsports.com. Plenty of coverage of recruiting, even though, Auburn's, pretty stacked at the 26 class. There's still going to be movement there, but they're making a big move in the 28 class now. And they got the quarterback from Kansas City, Sam Soley, committed as the first one. I think that's just that's a big first one to get, and they're going to start filling out that class here really quickly. And of course, a lot more going on at Auburn coming up with the basketball team going to Greece and everything else Auburn related will be on top of it.
Excellent stuff. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you. Thanks a bunch. Brian with us here. We'll take a break. Back in a moment. Coming up in just a little bit, Travis Reier will join us. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. Many well-known restaurants in the river region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
The more you play, the more chances you have to win during Diamond Days all summer long at Victoryland Casino. Win diamond jewelry and your share of $105,000 in free play. Also all summer long, it's TV Tuesdays. Win TVs and your share of $80,000 in free play. Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days and TV Tuesdays with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22 Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Well, there we go. Little internet issues there. Glad we're back here on the Tuesday edition of Longshore and McKnight, presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. So
I guess that was a legitimate reason yesterday why John didn't watch the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. An internet issue. I guess
so. Barry,
that was not the big reason, other than the fact he could not give two toots about it. But the internet
just one reason.
Must have had problems.
Just one. So I found it interesting that Alex Golish has pulled the hotel routine before.
Yes.
While he was the head coach at South Florida. He was there for 3 seasons, 23, 24, and 25.
Yep.
How successful was it for South Florida to have 13 days of bonding and team chemistry? Well, let's take a look. In 2023, they tied for 5th in their own league, going 500 in the American Athletic Conference, 7-6 overall. Who were their big wins against? Well, let's see here. Florida A&M, Rice, Navy, UConn, Temple, Charlotte, and Syracuse. Wow. They lost to Florida Atlantic, UAB, Alabama, Western Kentucky. So, okay, first season in the hotel, just getting used to it. Season number 2. Let's see what happened then. Pretty much the same as the prior season. 7-6, 4-4 in the league, tied for 6th. Who did they beat? Well, let's take a look. Bethune-Cookman, Southern Miss, UAB, Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, Tulsa, San Jose State. That was in a bowl game, I believe. Then, Barry, this is when they turned it up a little bit. This is when things got better. 2025, they went 9-3. 6-2 in the league, but still finished 4th in their league. Went to the Cure Bowl, but Alex Golesh did not coach in that game. So what happened? After 3 years in the hotel, who'd they beat that year? Boise State. Florida. Florida, of course, ended up firing their coach. South Carolina State, Charlotte, North Texas, Florida Atlantic, UTSA, UAB, and Rice. So in 3 seasons, they beat like maybe 1.5 named teams.
How do you beat a half a name team? Was the win a half a win, or was the team a half a team?
They beat 2 teams in 3 years that were in the top 25. So I guess after year 3, the hotel stays start paying off. It's the only way I can figure it out.
Man, that man is
not a lot
motivated.
of name victories against big time opponents, unless beating Rice and UTSA is a big deal. But we'll see. I'm still holding out on the hotel stay. We'll see how it plays out for there again. If they look sharp and crisp and clean, don't make stupid mistakes, don't shoot themselves in the foot, play 4 quarters, I'm going to go, I'm kind of believing into this hotel stay business.
I will point out what everybody is screaming at the television right now. I don't mind the hotel. To be honest, I haven't thought about the hotel maybe twice other than being on the air.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's like Watergate or something, but I do not think that late in the ball game, in late November, when Auburn is driving down the field to not only win in Tuscaloosa, but maybe gain a berth in a college football playoff or something like that, Byron Brown is going to take him out on the field and says, hey, guys, remember the Marriott.
Yeah.
Let's draw upon the togetherness and culture and everything, because everything that has gotten us to this point has to do with a 13-day stay at a Marriott in August. I do not think that is the absolute cornerstone foundational centerpiece of everything having to do with the success or failure of the upcoming season. Just like, that win over UAB they had in year 2 under Golesh. I don't think everybody is saying, whew, y'all, I'm glad we won that game.
Yeah.
Who
couldn't beat UAB? Jeez. With that coaching staff,
hotel that drove us to the dawn.
But Barry, to be fair, as I've already pointed out, if they trip and stumble against Baylor, you know what you're going to hear. Oh, got soft at the Marriott. You know it's coming. But if the scenario plays out as you just described,
yeah,
and they're on the verge of a playoff berth and they beat Bama at Bryant-Denny, you know what? More teams need to look into that Marriott stay. 13 days, it did it for them. I'm telling you, I'm a believer now. So you got to play it both ways.
Normally, my memory is pretty good. My attention span is pretty good, but it is nothing like John's. I mean, so Twilita Ramsey gave the double birds when she crosses the stage at graduation. I've seen people, and I've been to a ton of graduations, and I've called thousands of names at graduations. I've seen it all, but I probably would have said, man, she shouldn't have done that, and everything. Twilita Ramsey's probably 45 years old now. I don't think she and Eric are together, but that's neither here nor there.
Really? Oh, wow.
Somebody mentioned earlier, I think it was my buddy Jay. He said, man, I hadn't thought of Lorenzo Diamond's name in a long time. I'm thinking you hadn't been listening to this program then, because we bring up Lorenzo Diamond all the time. The memory of the hotel to normal, rational people ain't going to be that big of a memory. I am scared to death, not slightly concerned, not wondering idly. I am scared to death that we're going to hear about this freaking hotel for the entire 2026 season, and I am not down
Barry,
for that.
Look, we've been together a long time. I feel like I need to send somebody a thank you note because let's face it, August is kind of slow. You know, you get hyped up, excited about media days. Everybody's thinking football, and then we kind of hit a little valley till the season starts. Stories like this get us through August. I think Lorenzo Diamond's old lady shot him in August. I think D.D. Green shot that gun off at a frat party in August. Now, there's a lot of things that happen in August that get you through till the first game. And then once they kick the season off, unless they lose, you'll never hear about the Marriott again.
Disagree wholeheartedly. We hear about this stuff all the time. Bob from Pike Road had a pretty good one here earlier. He says, Barry, Bob from Pike Road did not watch the Red Sox yesterday either. John had an internet problem. Bob had an interest problem. Probably true. We'll take a break. We'll catch up with Travis Ryer in just a moment. He's doing some other stuff as well. How does that guy find the time? It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 and have the best looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. Okay, hour number 2 underway here with Longshore and McKnight on this Tuesday, and we always bring in our friend Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube, Talking Tide, got a lot going on. Travis is a busy man. Hey, Travis, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing real well, full of questions. Number one, why in the world have subscriptions skyrocketed to Cover Crimson? What's the story there?
Yeah, I jumped on board with the crew there at Cover Crimson here in the last 24 hours or so. I'm not sure about the skyrocketing subscriptions, but we're pleased with the initial response, doing a couple of shows a week with my pal Jimmy Stein, talking Alabama football. Still going to be on Ryer on YouTube as well. So a couple different avenues. We'll have some golf talk on Ryer on YouTube coming up later this afternoon with Casey Smith and Talking Tide. And so different things still going to be happening there at Ryer on YouTube, but certainly Cover Crimson going to be a lot of fun this fall again with Jimmy and really getting in depth on Alabama football.
Looking forward to that.
Well, let's start a little bit. The early returns, anything really, any tea leaves to read, any entrails to check over about the way things have gone so far, or maybe what to look for?
Probably not that much. I think early in camp, more than anything, no news is good news, because it means, knock on wood, from a health perspective, you're getting through some of that acclimation period and ramping up to full pad work in good shape. So really it's centered on looking ahead to a couple of scrimmages coming up the next 2 Thursdays, and especially where that quarterback competition is concerned with Austin Mack, Keelan Russell. We've heard from Ryan Grubb, the offensive coordinator, a couple of times about what you would expect in terms of his responses to that situation, and knowing again that every practice is extremely meaningful when you're in a legit competition like these two guys are, but those tiebreakers a lot of times can be those 2 scrimmages, and that's what we're looking ahead to, again, both this Thursday and the next.
Travis, that's interesting. I wanted to talk to you about the scrimmage days. Used to be on Saturdays. Is this something to maybe keep a lot of prying eyes away from these scrimmages? Because there's been a little chit chat about maybe too much information's coming out of these scrimmages at Bryant-Denny Stadium when select groups are invited to come, and you do it on a Thursday, maybe they can keep it under wraps a little more.
Could be something to that. I think it's also sort of in line with when teams are taking days off during fall camp, which has become more of a thing. I mean, there used to be no days off, and it doesn't mean that just because they're not on the practice field, they're not putting in time in their meeting rooms and with their position groups and those type of things. It's just an interesting sort of approach that we're seeing more and more of, and probably too in terms of time off in camp, time off the practice field. You know, you're trying to save your roster as best you can for an upcoming long season, especially when you're talking about a 9-game SEC season. But to your point, there could be something to that. Sometimes less is a lot more when it comes to practice viewers.
Yeah, I've always thought that. Wanted to ask you about this, naming names specifically. We referenced a couple of times in the show already a new piece out from Bruce Feldman of The Athletics, his freaks list for 2026. And I didn't know this. I mean, I know who Jackson Lloyd is. I know they've, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty much given him the starting left tackle job since early spring, right? Didn't know much about him. Travis, he's number 13 on that freaks list. 6'7", 317 pounds, 18% body fat. He benches 505. I had no idea. This guy, he sounds legit, and he's going to be tasked with a lot of responsibility at that tackle spot, it looks like.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. This guy is a former basketball player in high school, good player in that sport as well. One of those guys that you kind of like because you're able to bring him in and build him up rather than bring him in and take him down, which seems to be more and more the norm with how massive these human beings are now at such a young age. But yeah, that was the thing with him a year ago when he came in. You knew, it was going to be a little bit of a project, a little bit of a process to get him to more so an upper body strength and core strength where he could compete at the SEC level. And it looks like he's done just that, along with David Ballou and that performance staff there at Alabama. Looks great. You watch him in some of the drill work and the way he's able to bend at that size. You know, you see a lot of waist benders, as offensive line coaches will call them, when you got these big guys. But you watch him explode through his hips up from the ground level. It's very impressive to see. I still think power is where people are going to look to challenge him, because I think athletically with speed, he's going to be fine. But when he sees the Dylan Stewarts of South Carolina and some of those guys, I think some of these pass rushers are going to look to go more through him maybe than around or, left or right of him.
Speaking of measurables, it looks like the running back room is kind of leaned up, gotten stronger. Some of the numbers I'm seeing out of these guys, pretty impressive.
Yeah, Daniel Hill, paramount among those guys.
Daniel Hill, by the way, number 23 on that Bruce Feldman freaks list.
Yeah, and I'm a few days ago, I kind of referenced him needing to be more like a Todd Gurley kind of back. Not saying he'll be Todd Gurley, the former Georgia great, but just in terms of measurables and body type and attributes, he looks like that kind of back. He wasn't that kind of back a year ago as a younger player, was bigger, had some injury issues. He's leaner now. So it's going to be fascinating to see what he can bring to that mix. It sounds like, again, he's the guy at the top of that list. I do think a guy like A.K. Deere can still give them something different in terms of explosiveness and change of speed and those type of things. But E.J. Crowell, the freshman, still going to be a guy that Alabama fans are asking for from the outset of the season, no doubt.
Mm-hmm. Along that line, let me follow up a little bit, Travis. You had posted something on X a couple of days ago that made me sit back in my chair. You had reposted video from Ryan Grubb, the OC, saying that he's going to resurrect the Alabama run game. And I'm going to quote what Travis's observation was about that. He says, quote, not just hammer runs, but got to have more explosive runs too. In 14 games last season, Alabama had just 2 runs of 30 yards or more.
Yeah.
You should have, you should have more than that by accident.
Yeah, I had to self-correct that too, because it was actually 15 games, which made it even more anemic. But
2 runs of 30 yards or more all year from everybody.
And I think some of that last year had to do with the collective health of those backs. The primary options, Jam Miller, 2 or 3 injuries through last season. Kevin Riley was out with a jaw fracture or something like that for a period of time. Daniel Hill had his issues. So hopefully they can stay healthy enough. But again, that's where I think an A.K. Deere can still help them too, because he can bring that to the mix.
And it's amazing, Travis. People seem to forget this. I'm guilty of it as well. Even with those numbers that Barry just reminded us of, the team had a pretty good regular season. I mean, the regular season, you're thinking, man, how did they win that many games? How did they bounce off the carpet after the Florida State loss with horrendous rush statistics like that?
Yeah, that kind of spoke to what Ryan Grubb was able to get out of Ty Simpson in that area of the offense, and Josh Cuevas too. Josh Cuevas was almost a run game in and of himself from the tight end position. You get those replacement yards from other areas of your offense. That's what Josh, I think, was able to help them do a year ago.
Is there anything cautionary you would expand and offer to the Alabama crowd who are expecting the naming of a starting quarterback after one scrimmage? Is that plausible or not?
With Ryan Grubb, he's a bit of a wild card, and he was asked about that again yesterday, and he sort of took that approach you would expect, that, I didn't foresee that coming anytime soon, but it could. And, we talked about this on Cover Crimson yesterday, Jimmy and myself. You never know who the announcement might come from, for that matter. It could be Ryan Grubb in a media scrum that puts it out there like he did Jackson Lloyd. You would think it would come from the head coach and Kalen DeBoer. But I think anytime Ryan Grubb speaks, it's good. It's almost like Nate Oates, from the basketball perspective. He's pretty much going to tell you where it's at.
And, we say this a lot. The players know who's leading. They know who the number one guy is going to be, and they're really good about not saying anything about it. But I wonder if there's just, in hearing them talk after a scrimmage or they're past the midway point of preseason camp, if you can just kind of get a sense from some of the players who they think who does have the number one spot without really coming out flatly and saying it.
You can. I think the players have been pretty good that way, though, about not tipping it too much. They've obviously been coached that you mention both. If you mention one, you're going to mention the other. And I do think there are different attributes that Mac and Russell bring to the mix. And we heard that from Grubb yesterday. So much has been made about command of the offense and taking charge and having that knowledge of every aspect of what they do. But you heard Grubb say at the end of the day, if you got a guy that can just flat out make plays, it's going to be very hard to overlook that, even if that player isn't maybe to the level of the other guy in terms of command and overall knowledge and those type of things.
On another offering at Ryer on YouTube, I've got to ask you about the Live Tour. I saw a picture of the final grouping of the final grouping of the final hole of the leaders on the last event on the Live Tour, and there was, it was a smattering of fans. Is it done? Is it done?
Yeah, they had bigger crowds on the sets for Tin Cup and Happy Gilmore, I think, than what they had.
Exactly.
It was pretty pitiful. Now, look, they come from the UK where it's embraced and there's great attendance. That's the conundrum and has been for Live. The places where they can draw on the grounds, nobody still watches on TV or YouTube. And then when they come to the States, the crowds haven't been great. I guess at times Chicago, maybe some other places have drawn okay. But yeah, that was not pretty. And you can obviously see where the build out for the events in terms of spectator amenities and stands and those type of things, it was more Corn Ferry looking, I thought, on the broadcast than maybe along the lines of what you expect with the PGA Tour. And look, the Wyndham Championship, you watch that broadcast, for that final group of Brennan and Hostler, it wasn't exactly packed to the gills in Greensboro, but the TV is still, and the streaming is still, what you would kind of like to see if you're the PGA Tour.
Yeah, no doubt. Travis had somebody ask us a week or so ago, do you rate any other food beside chicken salad? Was wondering about different types of sandwiches, coleslaw, things of that nature.
Coleslaw. Very passionate about coleslaw because my wife will tell you she's almost had to leave some seafood restaurants because
it's
just a character flaw
to
me. If you're in the seafood and or barbecue business and you don't respect coleslaw that you put out, that should be like a health code shutdown violation at the coleslaw at those places. First of all, the coleslaw has to be cold. I don't want it room temperature. If it's room temperature, it's going back. I want that cabbage to have that crunch. I don't want too much mayonnaise. I'm going to black pepper the heck out of it. I do like celery seed. If we're
solid.
More so for seafood coleslaw. I like the celery seed. Barbecue, not so much, but very, very passionate about coleslaw to the point where I've asked for managers of restaurants.
So we go mayonnaise or vinegar based?
I like both.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both. Mayonnaise, if it's right, I really like. And cold. It's got to be ice cold.
Yeah,
it's like the old rules to live by. You can tell the quality of a person by how they treat somebody who can do them no good. You can tell the quality of the restaurants and how serious they are about their food by the coleslaw.
Cornbread too for me.
Yes.
I'll kind of like coleslaw. If you're not gonna really do cornbread, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just don't
do it.
You're disrespecting cornbread. You're disrespecting my Walker County grandma if you just half the cornbread. And I like the cast iron skillet cornbread. I don't want a bunch of sugar in my cornbread. Buttermilk and let's go.
I don't get
Martha White hot rise.
I don't get sweet cornbread. I've never understood that.
That's dessert. That's cake.
Yeah.
It's not cornbread.
That's not
I don't get
cornbread.
it.
No.
You're exactly right.
No,
For
I mean,
this,
Scone,
yes.
Scone.
For a transcript of Travis's sermon, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Longshore and McKnight.
And
a lot of
donation.
people.
Yes.
There we go.
That would be
Again, the Crimson Corner, the Crimson Cover stuff you do. When can that be out? And what's next on Ryer on YouTube?
Yeah, again, we're going to do some golf stuff on Ryer on YouTube, get into some Alabama stuff a little bit later in the week. We'll have second helping our SEC show on Ryer on YouTube as well. Coming up tomorrow on Cover Crimson with Jimmy Stein, we're going to do 3 players on offense and then a second show of 3 players on defense who really need to have good scrimmages on Thursday.
Nice.
So that'll be the topics on Cover Crimson tomorrow. And again, throughout the week, you'll catch me right there on Ryer on YouTube as well.
Man,
Excellent
cannot wait
stuff.
to check that out, Travis. Always informative and entertaining. We appreciate it, my man.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You
Appreciate
too, buddy.
it
Thank
very
you,
much.
Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube, Cover Crimson, No Sleep Teal, Par 3 driver guy. He's got a lot
Second
going
helping.
on.
Yeah, it's great.
Couple
stuff.
of quick things, Barry. I'm with him. My coleslaw's got to be cold, got to be crunchy. I like a mayonnaise and I like a vinegar.
You don't grind the cabbage up too fine. You don't want a clump of coleslaw. It's got to have some texture to it.
And I've had some crappy coleslaw in my day. I'm like
Oh,
Travis, one bite of it, done. Not having any more. But I will say, the late, great Bud Skinner at Jubilee Seafood had the best vinegar-based coleslaw I've ever had. Our man, Range Pro David Scott at Destin Connections got a fabulous coleslaw. And the late, great Gail Royal at Down the Street Cafe, I always got Gail's coleslaw. Still get it today.
Yeah.
Love that. Had a little onion in it. And her cornbread is the best I've ever had.
Yeah. God bless Gail. Miss her already. What a great lady. Such a wonderful person. She offered 2 kinds of coleslaw. Gail's coleslaw, like John said, it had the onions, and she would Gail was on the air with us every day for decades. Love her with all my heart. And she'd always point out that if you don't like onions in your coleslaw, she's got regular coleslaw too. By gosh, that's a public service right there.
Yeah, one of the
Love
nicest ladies I've ever known. Just
Miss
sweet
her,
as she could be.
Yep. She would sit me down and give me something to eat, and also tell me a little bit about what I need to do with my life.
That's right.
Well, when we come back, it's the Phantom's Daily Dog, and we continue on with hopefully something other than hotel conversation, but we'll see. We'll kind of ride it until the
we'll
dawn.
see how
It's
it goes.
Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Longshore and McKnight are brought to you in part by Stivers Automotive, Stivers Ford in Montgomery, and
Well, I think we're back. We might.
Longshore and McKnight are brought to you in part by Stivers Automotive, Stivers Ford in Montgomery, and Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Prattville. For the absolute best on-site selection, service, and price, no other dealer can match Stivers. Stivers Ford in Montgomery is located at 4000 Eastern Boulevard and online at stiversfordmontgomery.com. Stivers CDJR in Prattville is located at 2209 Cobbs Ford Road and online at stiverscdjr.com. Longshore and McKnight have been Stivers customers for over 15 years. You should be too. Stivers Automotive, where Price sells cars, trucks, and SUVs.
Man, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light! Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here! Oh, Bud Light there! I missed that because of you! You did not miss that play because of me! Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah! It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind! Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What'd I miss? I have no idea.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. It is about 25 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday. Longshore and McKnight. Great segments with Brian Matthews, AuburnSports.com. Travis Ryer, Cover Crimson, Ryer on YouTube. So many other great platforms and topics they discuss, like coleslaw and cornbread.
Yeah, he's right about cornbread, and you are too. Don't put sugar in your cornbread. It's corn. Would you put sugar on your popcorn? Would you put sugar on your corn on the cob? I say no. Did you know this?
Did I know this? Let me see.
Greg Byrne was pointing out there are massive new improvements to Coleman Coliseum. A new scoreboard going up.
Usually I get something called the burn notice that he sends out, and he hypes up stuff like that.
He says, work has begun on upgrading the center-hung video board and sound system in Coleman Coliseum to elevate the team and fan experience heading into the new season. These investments are also designed with flexibility in mind, allowing them to serve our programs well into the future. That means if they get a new arena, they can move that over there into it. Now,
Barry,
you're struggling. Let me see if let me put on my Longshore mindset.
Yeah.
You're struggling to keep up with the big boys in the league in terms of NIL for football, Texas and Texas A&M, and although so much money for football NIL. And Alabama is dropping corn on a basketball video board? What the heck? How do you
if you had given
that?
me a sheet of paper and say, give us your 5 top items you would like to see at Coleman Coliseum to make your basketball viewing experience better, I don't think that'd be on my list. I was okay with the scoreboard.
Well, this one's bigger. Basically, it's bigger. I mean, the video boards are bigger. What John would have rather seen, I guess, we have announced that we are putting our media members in the rafters.
Exactly.
In just regular seats, and they'll share TV trays to do their work, and opening up that area to not only higher ticket donors, but also opening it up so it doesn't look like a massive scar on the television cameras.
When you're watching Alabama football, do you ever notice the media? No, you never do. Ever. Because they got them tucked up in the upper right-hand corner of the east side of the stadium.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure where it is. Once they move the press box from its original location, which is now multi-million-dollar luxury boxes.
Yeah.
Revenue producers. I've not been to the new press box. Probably don't intend to ever go.
Oof.
But I know where it is. But I dadgum sure know where the media sits when I watch a basketball game.
And it drives that within the first 10 seconds.
Yep.
He's able to, there it is again. Son of a gun.
Yeah.
Man.
You see all these cheering fans as the camera starts panning. Whoa. Wow. What is that? Look at those two guys. They're on their phone. Two girls are talking to each other. There's 4 empty seats. Looks like one of the ushers grabbed one of those empty seats. Why you want that look? I mean, you're portraying your program. It's an exciting environment. Bama basketball, woo! Been to the Final 8, Final 4, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I see on TV.
Media
section.
Get rid of it.
Well, where else are we going to put them? I'll tell you where you put them. Up on the top row. You know what they did at the Superdome? Their press box is basically you touch the ceiling.
Look, you can see low-hanging clouds between you and the field in the press box at the Superdome. Yeah. But in the comments section, he had a picture of the mock-up of what it would look like. Some people noticed that at the bottom of the big video board mock-up, the AI-generated thing, Mercedes-Benz, right at the bottom. Thinking,
where do I see a picture of this?
Huh? Well, let me
can I see this?
Let me see if I can throw it up on the screen if you give me a moment or two while we...
Now, Barry, there already are Mercedes-Benz advertising inside Coleman Coliseum.
Will there be
the Mercedes? What is that? A triangle, I guess it is. Is their logo is already in the Coleman? Will it be on the jerseys? A lot of people think that would be a direction they would go to. They have an in. I mean, they got a guy up there that owns several Mercedes dealerships.
That's a possibility. And Travis had actually put on Twitter that would make the most sense. Is they got it waiting for him is the Mercedes patch.
Yeah, so
for football.
I think the Mercedes there again of all the possibilities of putting a patch on your jersey representing a business, I wouldn't have a problem with that one. The ones that the Oklahoma City Thunder wears with the Love's truck stop, that kind of
a truck stop doesn't necessarily give you what
that fits. That fits certain other programs. Some programs that fits.
Well, at the bottom of the comments, Greg Burns says they've got a new center hung video board upgrade coming, sound system coming at Coleman Coliseum. Somebody underneath there, many of them underneath there said, if you want to improve the experience inside Coleman Coliseum, move the students to half court instead of back there in the corner. Never going to happen, but I agree.
How much money have they pumped into that dinosaur? It was built, I believe, in 1966?
1966 or 1968.
I mean, what is it?
Didn't they promise Nate a new arena?
Did the state go on some arena binge in the mid-60s? I believe Garrett Coliseum was built around that time.
Beard Eves Coliseum, 1968. I also
Coleman Coliseum. What was the old arena in Troy before they built the new one? What was it called?
Oh, Sartain Hall.
Hall.
That's a lot earlier than 1968. But some guy underneath there says, hey, if you're going to upgrade, the arena, how about getting rid of that Mylar balloon that's still stuck up there in the corner for the last 15 years? Let's get to the Phantoms
another
Daily.
thing, Barry, I'm going to look for this on Friday. I'm going to be in Tuscaloosa Friday. The exterior of Coleman Coliseum, that kind of rounded hump thing, that's on top of it. It's white, or it used to be.
Yeah.
It is so faded and the paint's chipping off of it. Kind of an eyesore.
There's mildew up there.
It ain't looking good.
No.
When you're passing, you look across the practice field and you can see the top of Coleman going, wow. Are they in the middle of repainting that, or does it always look that way?
Yeah.
Just telling you, Greg. I mean, I can only give free advice for so long.
Sooner or later, he's going to start charging.
That's two areas right there.
Because it ain't like he's going to stop giving advice.
Move them.
Yeah.
Painting the exterior of the hump, get it done.
All right. Phantom's Daily Dog. Here we go.
Oh, well, let me see here.
It's past time.
What happened on the Daily Dog? It was a late game, Barry, if I'm not mistaken. San Diego hosting the Milwaukee Brewers last night. And it is true that Milwaukee jumped out to a 2-0 lead midway through the second inning.
By the way, the best record in the National League, Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, yeah, I guess they still do, I guess. San Diego put one in on the board in the bottom of the second, and then not a lot happened. It got a little boring for me.
It was a 2-1 game through 6 innings.
Yes. Well, through 7.5, actually, because the Milwaukee Brewers didn't score on the top of the 7th. And look at that. Padres scratch across 2 at the bottom of the 7th. That's all they needed. They win the game 3-2. Look it up. Another winner for the Phantoms Daily Dog. Cash that ticket yet again. Barry, I believe that's 8 out of the last 10.
10, yeah, 80%. Yeah, over the last 2 weeks. Now, baseball aficionados, yes, I know when you score 2 in the bottom of the 7th inning, you haven't gone through 7.5 innings. You've gone through 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5 innings.
Just a minor technicality.
3-2. Jackson Merrill, a homer with a man aboard to turn a 2-1 deficit into a 3-2 San Diego win. How does he know?
I'm looking at it right here, looking at that home run going over the fence. Outstanding. Love it. And I was a little concerned about the pitchers, but hey, we're good.
Former Aub, Casey Mize, very strong.
Love it.
6 innings, 2 earned runs. Pretty good.
All right. So today, time to turn the page. Can't be patting ourselves on the back. We're going to go to a game today, Barry, a little earlier. There are 2 games that are set to start at this exact time. They'll be the first 2 today. Cleveland at Detroit and Pittsburgh at Miami, both at 5:40.
Yes. Miami game, is the Phantom going to go with the over-under being 3,000 fans for the Pirates coming in?
Could be. Total actually 7 in that game. But we're not going that route, Barry, because I want to know a little bit about Yuri Perez. Am I pronouncing this guy's name right?
I think you got it, yes.
Yuri Perez is on the mound for Miami. Paul Skeens, I think I've heard of this guy.
Oh, Paul Skeens. He's having a little bit of a difficult year, but Skeens is a bad dude. Former LSU pitcher, but he also transferred once, so he's suspect. Skeens is 9-10 this year with an ERA at 4.
Ouch.
Was a Cy Young. He was Rookie of the Year. He's great. Yuri Perez, 5-9 for the Marlins.
He needs to have a good outing. 5-9 needs to have a good outing. Well, Barry, maybe that's the reason that the Marlins are a home underdog tonight.
Yeah.
There are +1. I'm gonna check this once again because this was all over the board this morning. Like the guys in Vegas couldn't decide where they wanted to settle in on this one. So let me get some
consensus here.
We got 106, 104, 102, even got an even in a couple of spots. So it's a pretty closely thought of matchup, but FanDuel's got at the Marlins at +106. I'm going to get all I can get. So I'm taking Miami +106 tonight. They're a home dog against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Perez against Skeens, 2 right-handers going at it tonight. Look at all this baseball lingo I'm throwing at you. Feel like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, let's see. Back of the chat line, you got like 17 straight texts from Trainsman Preston and Chris the Bammer, each of them about 2 words long. You're trying to go back and get some of these things. You got to go because these guys are like 1 or 2 words with a question mark at it. When we come back, okay, so let's go. Let's go.
Did the Braves happen to win yesterday? Somebody's on the chat line about the Braves. Do not compare the Phantom with the Braves. Do not put those 2 words in the same sentence.
Braves lose yesterday, 8-5 to the Mets. They'll play the Mets again today at 6:15 in the ATL. Let's take a break. More to come in a moment. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm." Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This summer, Dixie Electric Plumbing and Air is on a Jurassic hunt for the oldest HVAC systems and water heaters in town. If your system is a fossil, now's your chance. Replace it between June 1st and July 31st, and you could win big. We're giving $2,500 back for the oldest HVAC systems and $1,000 back for the oldest water heater. Even if you don't win, you still score major savings on your new HVAC system, water heater, generator, and/or garage door. Don't let your systems go extinct. Call Dixie, and it's done.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game, get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Okay, welcome back in. About 19 minutes to the top of the hour. Also, remember to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. Barry, I'd love to get your thoughts about this. Jay, always coming up with some great conversation, topics, questions. Sloppy Joe rank in the sandwich category.
Sloppy Joe, not restaurant fare. I don't know that I've ever had a Sloppy Joe in a restaurant, but I have eaten dozens upon dozens of those that my mom would fix at the house.
Can you make a homemade Sloppy Joe, or do you have to have the manwich?
You got to have the. I don't know that I've ever had a Sloppy Joe without the manwich.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason why you have a Sloppy Joe. If anybody doesn't know what a Sloppy Joe is, it is basically a hamburger that you don't have time to form into a patty. That's all it is. You just throw it in there, put the manwich sauce in there. Never had one without manwich, out of the can, and then just put it up. You don't put pickles on it. You don't put a tomato on it. You don't put coleslaw on it or anything. It's just hamburger bun, Sloppy Joe, hamburger bun.
And it is sloppy.
And let the kids have at it.
You got to have a lot of napkins to go along with it. The origin of the Sloppy Joe, Barry, I'm thinking maybe during wartime, it was an easy meal to fix for our troops. I'm thinking
maybe back on the home front when everybody was sacrificing, when mom was not only trying to keep the kids fed during wartime with all that going on with rationing and all that, but she had to take her turn working a shift over at the aircraft plant or whatever. Yeah,
sure.
And she'd come home and the kids are hungry and she'd say, I'm just going to brown some ground meat. We got hamburger buns. Y'all go to town. I don't know that I've ever even seen a Sloppy Joe offered in a restaurant. That is for busy moms who don't have time to cook a full course.
I was
meal.
Just thinking about
I've eaten up dozens of them.
You don't go into a restaurant and see a Sloppy Joe on the menu.
No. Yeah.
Where in the grocery store do you find the Sloppy Joe manwich sauce? Is it near the canned chili? Is it near the tomato sauce? Is it near the spaghetti sauce? Or where's manwich located in the store?
It's over there near the spaghetti sauce. It's over there near spaghetti sauce, marinara, Alfredo sauce, all that Paul Newman stuff up there at the top. That's where they are. I don't know. There's some guy out there with his feet in the sand in Bimini or Bermuda or Barbados on a beach in Antigua or something like that in his home, because he was the guy that said, okay, fellas, okay, Van Camp or Hormel or whomever, what you need to do is you need to put a can of crappy spaghetti sauce, call it Manwich, and say it's exclusively for Sloppy Joe's, because that market's wide open. Nobody else makes a Manwich, makes Manwich stuff. Nobody else has ever used anything else for Sloppy Joe's except Manwich. We got the market cornered. That guy has made millions by turning bad spaghetti sauce into a moneymaker.
Now, I will say this. There is no comparison here for me, because I love a chili burger from Waffle House. You get Burt's chili on top, and it's
John
a
is a
messy
huge Burt's chili. But I'm telling you, had you ever met Burt before? Did I read that?
No, I've met him, but not before. But I have met Burt before. He was sitting next to me in a restaurant.
John says, I would like to shake your hand, man.
It was interesting. We had talked. He just said, hey, Don, you look familiar. Do I know you? And no, and we talked about just other stuff. He mentioned he had been a long time Waffle House employee. As he was leaving, he gave me some cards for free waffles or hash browns, because I mentioned my boys.
How do you do that? John doesn't even try, and he gets more freebies than 90% of the people I know combined.
And I see how my boys love at Waffle House. I go to the one down here on Bower Road. He goes, oh, you mean store 8704? I went,
yeah, 8704.
Say so, sure.
867-5309. Yeah, that's the one.
So I look at the card, and I look at my wife, and I went, you think this is the Burt? And she looks at me and goes, Burt who? I went, Burt of Burt's Chili. She didn't know what I was talking about. She goes, well, I was going to ask him.
That's what America was
built. Parking lot. Tap on his window. He rolls the window down and went, are you Burt of Burt's Chili? He goes, do you like the chili? I went, man, I love it. He goes, I'm your guy.
That man, John tapped on the window. It was like a Lincoln Navigator or something, just because it's Burt's Chili. Now,
he gave me the origin of how it came up with it, the recipe, while they did it. They needed something for third shift guys that needed, it was a little more hearty than, maybe eggs and grits.
Right.
So they used the hamburger meat, came up with their own sauce. Boom. There you have it.
It is good. It is good. Jay also points out Smokey and the Bandit's Diablo sandwich is a nice variation, but Jay, that's only if you're in a GD hurry.
Yeah. And you got to drink a Dr. Pepper with it.
The most unexpected twist we ever had in an interview was with Brian Jones from CBS Sports, SEC on CBS back in the day when they carried us. He quoted that to us. He says, oh, man, Smokey and the Bandit is my jam. I would not have thought Brian Jones would be able to quote Jackie Gleason.
So what actually is on a Diablo sandwich?
I don't know, but I bet it's hot. I bet it's like loads of hot sauce. So
yeah, I'm going to have to Google that during the next break, Diablo sandwich. But you got to wash it down with the Dr. Pepper, obviously.
Yeah, well,
and, of course, you don't want to walk out of the men's room with toilet paper stuck on the back of your shoe.
No.
Sheriff.
First thing I want to do is go home. I want to slap you. Well, anyway, that next commercial break is coming up right now, because on the other side, it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Big news for Central Alabama travelers. Getting to Texas just got easier. You can now fly nonstop from Montgomery to Houston with United Airlines. No long drives, no layovers, just smooth direct travel from your hometown airport. Whether it's business or a weekend getaway, Houston is now just one flight away. Spend more time there and less time getting there. Fly nonstop to Houston. Fly MGM, where travel feels easy. Book your trip today at flymgm.com.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, oh, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The more you play, the more chances you have to win during Diamond Days all summer long at Victoryland Casino. Win diamond jewelry and your share of $105,000 in free play. Also all summer long, it's TV Tuesdays. Win TVs and your share of $80,000 in free play. Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days and TV Tuesdays with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
All righty, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you're with us here, Longshore and McKnight. I think Jay hit Google faster than I did. A Diablo sandwich is a legendary spicy minced or pulled pork / beef sandwich soaked in hot sauce, made famous by Sheriff Buford T. Justice in the 1977 movie Smokey and the Bandit, when he famously barks, "Give me a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper, make it fast." He actually said something else after that, but I never knew what a Diablo sandwich was. Now I know.
Yeah. Still never going to order one, but yes, good to know.
Yeah.
What we are going to do is order up the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 Topic Wheel, brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, located just off of exit 22 on I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, the garden spot of Macon County.
Let's do it,
6
man.
topics, no
Look
clue.
at all these colors we got working today. And it's gonna
Probably
be
about
the
Big Q.
Big Q.
Former Auburn sideline reporter. No. Quinnen Williams, former Alabama defensive tackle who got traded from the Jets to the Cowboys last year. 3 years, $105.9 million contract extension. There's so many players at Alabama that I don't think are remembered as fondly as they should. John Parker Wilson, Quinnen Williams, Jonah Williams, no relation. Quinnen Williams is a fantastic player.
Yes. Heck yeah.
He is averaging $35 million a year, 41.5 career sacks as a D tackle, graded out as Pro Football Focus top 5 interior defensive lineman in 3 of the previous 4 years. People would sit there and say, "Oh man, Barry Krause, no disrespect," or such and blah, blah, blah. This guy. Quinnen Williams was a stud at Alabama, and everybody's like, "Nah, yeah, he's one of those Saban guys." Of course, that guy is a bad man right there.
Yeah, I'd be smiling too. $105 million deal.
Look,
pretty
they've
nice.
got a patch on the jersey.
Barry, maybe that's something maybe that's who Dak Prescott needs, is a guy like him on his team.
Needs more guys like him.
Yeah.
That was the problem before. John would say, "Oh, Dak's never won the Super Bowl. Have you seen the Humpty Dumpties he's got with him on offense?" What do you expect?
Okay. All right, let's see what else we got.
That's a good one. Good get there.
Quinnen Williams.
Wonder how we got.
Let's see what we got here.
Okay.
Love the color combination. It's looking like it's going to trend toward, I was saying this yesterday, cutting my grass. Damn, it's hot out here. Woo.
Yeah, I got to do that in the next couple of days. The contiguous U.S., that means not Alaska and Hawaii, hottest month ever, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
So I guess
July in the United States averaged 77 degrees. That's the most since they started keeping records in 1895.
Guess we'll start hearing Al Gore yapping about global warming, huh?
I don't know. Does that count nighttime too? It's got to, right? Because
yes, yeah.
Heck, in the state of Alabama, it's averaging in July. It had to average about 94.
Yeah.
So you got to take.
Usually, Barry, I've lived here all my life. August is pretty hot.
It is.
It's pretty hot in August in this part of the world.
It ain't gonna be cooler than it was in July. Yeah.
No,
if anything, it will be hotter.
It can be warm in September as well. You got to kind of wait for October to roll around, which is a great month for outdoor activities.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Shane Bailey. Okay.
Yeah, there you have it.
All right.
All right,
It
let's
is
go
hot.
back to the board.
New world record. I don't ever remember it being as hot as it was in July. Well, because it never has been.
That's true. Good point.
Snake in my boot.
Uh-oh. It's better than in your
bound to be.
pants.
There's always an animal pie piece in here. Snake in my boot.
Ooh.
Oh, this is a football deal? High school football player finds a snake in his helmet during practice. This is, of course, in Arkansas.
It can happen.
All right. Obviously plays for the Hornets. All right.
Did we get to
There's
see
the
the
snake right there. See it right? Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Oh, I do see it. Yeah.
Nope. See, I would back in the day when all we had were these canvas seatbelt looking web nets in your helmet.
Yeah.
wouldn't have that problem. And for me, if it would be me, I swear to gosh, I'd be wearing that helmet in practice all afternoon without even realizing there's a snake in there.
That's a cool logo. I will say that on that helmet.
That's not bad.
That's a cool helmet for a Hornet team.
Oh, no,
you know, Barry, a little word of advice. If you keep shoes outside that you maybe do yard work in, cut the grass, wherever it may be, and you slip them on to do yard work, be careful. I knew somebody that did that, and they got stung by a bee that was in, or a wasp or a hornet that was in the shoe. And their big toe looked the size of a
Sergeant Holka.
Yes, the big toe. It'll get you. So be careful.
Just whomp your shoe a couple, 3 times. Whomp it good against the side of the house or something like that. Shake it around a little bit before you put it on.
Those bees out of there. You don't want that. Sheesh, that could be tough. All right. 3 more to go. Yellow, red, and blue on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. Open 24/7, 365, exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama.
Oh, boy. Restraining order.
What this time?
All right. Restraining order. Yeah, what's this deal? Tulsa, the Little League World Series is going on.
Okay.
Tulsa was removed from the Southeast Regional Tournament because playing eligible players. Now, I don't have any doubt, and I've read about this. They got disqualified. A player who participated on the team was ineligible. I read about this. I have no doubt that Tulsa was guilty. Because, I mean, they stretch the rules in these things all the time. Tulsa did it. But some judge, you can get a judge to say anything. Tulsa Nationals attorney says, quote, Judge Luna made the right decision to give the boys an opportunity to play the game and decide everything on the field. The boys are ball players, and ball players do just that, play ball. They cheated, but let the kids play. It wasn't their fault.
Play.
Yeah.
Is that similar to a judge in Tuscaloosa allowing kids back on the basketball team?
A lot. I mean, you can find judges that will do anything. I mean, you hear fans even now say, yeah, I know that we had, because of Gene Marsh and Marie Robbins, we had to vacate wins, but, we won those games on the field.
Exactly. That's
you
right.
did it. You were guilty of it. It was.
Hey, Judge, keep it fair.
Yeah. Jeez.
All right, 2 more to go. I can't.
But there's still going to be.
I can't.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. Now, my wife, hopefully she's not watching because she was big time into this. There is a YouTube channel called Big Bear Lake.
Uh-oh.
And this was it right here. All it was this eagle's nest.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
That nest had a live camera there. That's the eagle. They showed the mama and the daddy. The mama, those are the mom. I think Jackie is in the foreground, is the closest one.
Yeah.
She could tell you everything about it. The 2 kids, one of them's name was Sammy or something like that. Anyway, they'd have eggs and they'd hatch little eaglets, and you get to watch them feeding the eaglets and fly off and all that stuff. My wife loves it. Well, Jackie, she had been sick. One of the other ones had been sick, and she didn't make it. Big Bear Lake has made tons of money just because somebody put a camera on this eagle's nest for years. And I mean, they'd have 1,000 people watching at any one time.
Oh, man.
It's unbelievable.
Barry, I think you've told me before. Eagles do die.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it happens inside the Auburn Raptor Center, and John says, I thought they were a veterinary school. They can't keep them alive. And the thing is like 80 years old. I mean, eagles die. Yeah. Those, unfortunately, one of those babies would get picked up by another bird or something like that. So
see, there's a vet. There's a vet working on that eagle.
That was a big deal. If you go to YouTube and go to Big Bear Lake, after you get done watching us, of course, you can see all of that. And all it was just an eagle's nest with a lake in the background. And those eagles had no idea they were world famous.
No.
And I mean, they were making some serious money just by putting that.
Good for them. Sorry about the
putting a
Eagle.
camera there. Yeah.
All right,
but
one more to go.
happens,
Got to
John.
spin it to make it
happens.
official here on this Tuesday. What do we got? It's the blue panel. We do
My
know
wife
that.
was distraught. Okay.
And it's in the middle.
Yes.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Bryce Young, the last guy on the entire Panthers roster that needs to be in the middle of it.
Yeah.
John, can you get a text
Get
to
out
him or
of the
something?
way.
No,
Bryce.
what you need if you're gonna what you need to do is be on the periphery, Bryce.
Yeah.
You need to. All right, training camp. This was yesterday. Nick Scott, Jonathan Brooks. Bryce Young began jawing at the defense after the hit. It escalated into a fight. Multiple offensive linemen, defensive back Mike Jackson. Now, translate this for me, John. Head coach Dave Canales says he was impressed with the team's handling of the incident and noted the increased physicality in later reps. Your response?
Yes. Yeah.
John would say that when they had high school fights at JD, it took a while for the coaches to find the whistle. Increased physicality among the players after that fight.
Yes, no doubt. It ramps up the physicality, no doubt about it. People have a little bit more sense of urgency.
Now,
there's less grab-assing going on.
Now, if somebody had lost their temper and had flipped Bryce Young in the middle of the fight and he had landed on his throwing shoulder and had subluxed or something, that player would be out of that camp before the ambulance even got there.
Probably so. Yeah, you got to know your limitations. I think Dirty Harry said that. Man's got to know his limitations.
Yes. Don't be in the middle of it. Be like John and be on the periphery here.
Exactly. Got to be a lover, not a fighter. All right, tomorrow, Theotis is asking us, is Josh on this week? I believe tomorrow he will be, Theotis, so
Fingers
get ready.
crossed.
You know, he's had
Fingers
some
crossed.
scheduling issues, but hopefully we can get him along with CJ Duncan of Yellowhammer News. They'll join us on Wednesdays as always. And man, the full pads, talking about hitting.
Oh, yeah.
Talk a little bit about that tomorrow as well.
And no, Theotis, the webcam for those two Eagles was not Travis Ryer's, was not Rodney Orr's webcam. It's only $48 a year. For John Longshore, I'm Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by